Hello, welcome back to my channel, Amanda's Pampered Pets. If you like to see real grooming in the real world of a mobile groomer, I would say subscribe. check me out. I am the only groomer for my company. It's just me. So when stuff happens, scheduling stuff happens, it's my fault. Or Mother Nature. Yeah. Anyways, if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, comment, all the things. I'm not doing it for monetary gain, but I had some folks that were interested in seeing, like, what really happens in the van. Is my dog really that bad? A lot of grooming shops won't tell you the truth. They'll just say, oh yeah, no, she was fine. Everything's good. I won't sugarcoat it at all with my clients. They know how their dogs behave. And now they can see how they behave. So anyway, let's get to it. Hey, let me plug in the phone real quick. Okay, I have my friend Peaches here today. She's super sweet, but she acts like the whole grooming process is her worst nightmare. Like she's terrified of everything. She'll sit there and pant like she's running a marathon. Yeah, she's interesting. I can't blame it on her pet parents. They got her as a puppy, and nobody's ever laid a hand on her, as far as I can tell. I don't know if she maybe had a bad grooming experience before I got her, but I do groom two of her siblings, and they're the same way. So I tend to think maybe it's the doggy parent, like genetically speaking. Could be a genetic trait. I don't know. If you see paw prints on the table, that is Pet Safe ink that I'm using to make them some ornaments. This one didn't turn out quite as dark as I wanted, but she's a little neurotic about her feet. So I couldn't be upset about that. I did do a pre-shave on her feet. She gets clean feet because they have farm property out here. And her housemate, sister, they're not ladylike. They like to run and play and do all the things. And then what they were doing is like licking and chewing their feet in between the toes. So that's not conducive for a nice like schnauzer skirt, because then I'd have to shave in between their toes and it makes their feet look weird. So I think it was last year, me and her owner decided, let's just shave their feet. And I'm just using my Kenchii Flash 5 on the 30 setting. They don't have to be perfect. Like I said, she's a little spastic for her everything, but I did her nails before the bath too. I prepped her feet first because I wanted to get her paw print before I put her in the tub. And I just haven't cleaned off the Paw Mat table topper yet. I'll take some like dish soap to it to get all the paint off, all the ink. I was doing it like every day, but when I have, 6 to 8 dogs per day, it's just a little time consuming. So I figured I would do it all, clean it all up when Christmas time is over, and I'm not going to be making any more paw prints. I had seen it on a Facebook group that I follow, like groomers give their clients little gifts for Christmas. And honestly, it never occurred to me. And I don't want to be one of those, like, my time is the best gift, That just sounds a little weird. Years ago, I used to, oh yeah, I gotta turn her. She won't turn for me. At all. Years ago, I used to send out Christmas cards, and I would have people do I would have them vote, well, I'd have them submit their pictures, of their dogs that I groom on my business page. Or I think one time I might have had them vote on pictures, like a poll. But that was back when I had 50 clients. I have a lot more than that now, and that's just... I can get the cards cheap, but sending them... Oh, you know what? I could just give it to him, huh? I didn't think about that either. Maybe next year. So anyways, I had seen on this thread, people make gifts. And I had seen a paw print ornament, and I thought, well, that might be easy to do on the fly in the rig. So I decided to give it a shot. I've quickly learned which dogs hate it. I've had a couple smudges on them. Okay, so she gets a number 7 schnauzer cut, and then on her skirt, I take it down to a 1/4 inch because they'll mat up, and she's already matted on her front leg. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shave those spots off. Well, I could thinning shear them. I've got my Artero wide. I don't know if you can hear it over my earbuds, but there's somebody visiting the client, and they left their little dog in the car, and she's out there barking, causing a ruckus in that car. I looked out to be like, is somebody trying to get my attention? No, I didn't see a human, but I see the dog in the car staring at me. If you're wondering, if you've seen my previous video, I don't have my elbow brace on today because my elbow's not killing me right now. My hand is killing me. Killing me. Any kind of gripping anything just kills. So I do have my hand brace on. If I can get away without wearing that elbow one, I will, because it's a pain. Because I can't bend, which is the point. Go over there. I like to take the 7 down the inside of the leg a little. Well, years ago I learned that was part of the schnauzer cut, but I don't know if it's that way anymore. So I usually go from elbow. A lot of my schnauzers, I do it to the top of the hip, but her and her sister are kind of chubby, so it's supposed to be at what they call the tuck up, which was taught it was here, but the tuck up is like here, not the actual right here part. I think. That's what I heard at Groom Expo in a class. But because I take their skirt in a 1/4 inch, where I set their line isn't necessarily as important. Because there's only a few millimeter difference between a 7 blade and a 1/4. Actually, it might be the same. But they like them to have a little skirt, like a little something. So, I'm gonna stand up or sit up anyway. Oh my god. Having my thumb stabilized, I mean, it's helpful. I don't hurt as bad, but it makes things hard. And you know what? In my last video, I forgot to put an intro on it. I get in the zone and I do everything so quickly. I forgot. After I put a poll up about it. How rude. I didn't realize it until the next day. I was like, whoops. But if you didn't see my previous video, I was sat on by a very large, sweet, but very large doodle. He's 140 pounds. I'm 150. Anyways, I had my arm resting on my right arm resting on the table underneath him, and he decided to lay down like a ton of bricks. He just dropped on top of my arm. And then I couldn't get out. So I had to use an unconventional method to get out from under him. Okay, I had to grab his wiener and like pull and turn it a little. I had to shock him. And then he stood up. And I'm howling underneath there, and he's just looking at me like, what happened? I'm like, you gotta get up. So because he's big, well, needless to say, he's massively overweight. He's supposed to max out at like 110. He is a big bone dog, but he has a lot of hip discomfort. He did have a hip surgery when he was a puppy. And excuse me, burps. I'm sure I don't have to explain it, but the heavier you are, the more your joints have to work to keep you upright. Same goes for a dog. And he just cannot. He lays down to eat, you guys. I told the dad, the owner, I told him, I was like, okay, that's a sign. I'm like, he needs a diet and a treadmill. Like, there's a problem when a dog won't even stand up to eat anymore. But I did tell them that they're going to have to find a different groomer for him, or bath him themselves. I can do his toenail maintenance because he'll lay down with all of his feet out so I can reach him. But I cannot. I can't even get him in the tub anymore. I almost threw out my back getting him in the tub. And I think it's just because he's experiencing more pain as he gains more weight. Because he used to walk right in. It was not a problem before. Now it is a problem. And so they agreed. Because, you know, they're sweet people. I forgot to mention. 1/4 inch wide guard comb. Over a wide 30 blade. Anyways, they're really sweet people. I still go over there to do the other dogs on the property because they're not as hefty and they all cooperate. Well, for the most part. They have 3 other doodles. If you're a groomer, you know the problems we have with a doodle. They're very strong-willed. And if they don't want to do something and they're big enough, so I was supposed to bring the groomer's wall for her so she can't hide out by the wall, but I forgot. I got in my garage this morning, unplugged the van. I even looked around, like, am I missing anything? No, okay. I get down here, I was like, oh yeah. I took out the groomer's wall because I had a couple of doodles and a larger Kerry Blue Terrier, so I didn't use it. Now I have a hair at my nose. Excuse me. So we'll have to make do with this one. At least I can get her to stand up now. When I first started doing her, I had to hang her butt from the rafters because she wouldn't stand up. Now she'll stand up, at least. When I need her to. Okay, put it down. No, you can do that. Oh, you know what? I'm going right through those tangles with the 1/4 inch. Cool. I have a feeling she's been chewing on her leg. Come here. Well, you're doing that all by yourself. I didn't want you to stand like that. Come over here. Hold on. Try to get hairs off the table here. So I'm just going to go around her feet. Oh, I got to do her Sanny. I take the 10 up the bottom of her nub. Oh. Alright, you can lay down. That's fine. I do the 10 blade all up her nub. That way I don't get the weird wings on the sides from underneath. Just get your belly a little bit. Come here. I really want to get the middle of her belly. But that hair grows into a cowlick looking thing. Okay. Baby, I need you to stand up. Come on. Her skirt is so baby fine. I used to keep their skirts at like a ½ inch, but I come out every 8 weeks, and it was always just not good. I was forever cutting stuff out of their skirt. Now their dad is like, he used to do their grooming when he was younger and able-bodied, and look at her hair. He used to come out and give me directions on how to do it. He's got some memory issues. So he doesn't remember that he ever came out to give me directions. Which is fine. I don't mention it. And neither does his wife. He finally quit when I was like, I've been grooming for like 20 years. Oh, okay. I get, like, maybe he thought I was new. I've kept my head down in the grooming industry for so long that when I find out that people know of me, I'm shocked. Especially my local area. I have people calling me for appointments, and I'm like, I don't have anything open. Where did you get my number from? And there's a new like pet store in a county that I service, and I didn't even know this store existed. And I'm like, okay, how did they hear about me? Like, who works there that knows about me? Like, what's going on here? So this gal that called was super sweet, older lady. I just don't have openings at all. I'm having issues keeping my own clients on track here. I still have a few I gotta get back on the schedule from when I had that miscarriage in August. A couple of them, one of them decided to move on to somebody more reliable. Meaning a shop with more than one person working in it. I get that. I'm not mad. I have a couple that I still have to get a hold of. I have one family that I reached out to and haven't heard back, but we're in the PNW, Pacific Northwest, and we've had some flooding situations going on. Not so much where I live, but down south of me, there has been some flooding, and I asked if they were right down there because they do live on a river, or close to a river, and I haven't heard back yet. But she did get her own, like, home grooming setup put together back, I think it was back when I blew out my knee in February, and I was out for a while. So she might be doing it herself. I think, there was a wedding in the family recently. There's grandbabies. Like, you never know what's going on. She works full time. But if they've been impacted by the flooding down there, you know, I don't expect an answer right away. And she's honest. Like, she would tell me, I'm not reliable enough. Like, I get it. I understand. It drives me insane when I have medical. I don't go to the doctor ever. I was in the medical field for too long. I don't. I'm like a doctor. I don't go to the doctor. But when something big happens, like I blow out my knee, I can't grip things with my right hand, and it's already disabled. Like, I already have a disability on my right arm because I was bit by a dog years ago. So for it to get worse, that's a noticeable change. I'm gonna go check it out. I have an appointment set up for end of January with a hand surgeon, so I may be looking at surgery. And I tell my clients up front, like, hey, this is what's going on. I can recommend other shops or other mobiles. Like, that's not a problem. One of my clients, they will, if I'm out or they are on vacation, they have a place that boards their dogs, and they will groom the Kerry Blue for me. You know, so I don't have to worry about her. But I've known that lady for a long time. So it's, you know, they actually care about what happens, you know. Some people, like, when you work in a shop environment, you might not have that feeling like people actually care about you. But when you're a mobile groomer and you go to their home, you tend to get close to people, even if you don't intend to. And they all worry. And like a couple days ago, I had to cancel some appointments that were an hour south of my house. And I'm like, listen, it's foggy out. It's raining out. There's a lot of traffic on the road. I can't see in front of me. Like, I'm not coming down there, and they didn't want me to. They were like, I was so scared of you coming down here. I'm like, good, let's not. Because if I get into an accident, and, you know, the rig gets damaged, I get hurt, that's not going to help anybody. So I always play it safe, especially in the wintertime. Like, rain on the freeway I can handle, but when it's rain, like misty rain and fog, that's a bad combination, especially when I'm in Washington State and there's drivers that won't put on their lights in the rain. And then you get dark clouds overhead. That doesn't help, you know. And I drive a transit van. Like, I do have blind spots where I might not see somebody in a dark vehicle without lights on coming. That could be bad. And, you know, I witnessed an accident yesterday in front of me. On my way to a client's house. I mean, the road was wet, but it wasn't raining at the time, and it wasn't foggy. It just shows you, you know. Not everyone is paying as close of attention as you. Right? Am I right? Tell me I'm right. Peaches, tell me I'm right. Now, now I'm going to come in with my Artero regular width for her head. One time she jerked away from me and I shaved off half her eyebrow. That was when I first started grooming her. I was like, there's no fixing that. Feels like really itchy ears, so I try to lock down on it. Really get a hold of it. Try to not put my finger in her ear canal because that'll make her itch and shake her head. Her little white hairs are just sticking all over my face. Come here. Well, that was a little shorter than I was bargaining for. That's how I did it one time. I was right here and she jerked her head back and her whole eyebrow disappeared. I was like, seriously? Set the Kenchii to 10. Well, I think it was already there. I just always check. So on these two, I don't pluck their ear hair. On her sister, it's way too oily and I cannot get a grip on it. On her, she doesn't really have much. So I will just pull it to the outside of the ear canal and just zip it off with the Kenchii. And then we'll just edge out her ears. Which is a lot easier when she's standing, but I'm not totally in the mood to fight her on it. cute that she thinks laying down is going to save her from having to have it done. I applaud the effort. I know. It's all such an inconvenience, isn't it? Peaches. Isn't it just awful? Okay, so we come in with my, what is this one called? The half moon comb. I use it more on her face than the big comb. Because the short end is perfect for right in those eye corners. Because it's tapered and I don't feel like I'm going to poke her in the eyeball with the comb. So I'm just going to get my thinner in their eye corner area and kind of clean that up. And then I kind of do the sides of the nose a little. I think traditionally the Schnauzer mustache was supposed to come down the bridge of the nose and part in the middle. Wow, these guys do a lot of rubbing their face in the blankets and the carpet and the grass. So that always ends up a mess, so I just take it. But I try to feather it down so it's not obvious. Now, let's see the middle of your eyebrows. I think some people were taught to take just a blade in the middle of there. I can't do that for her. She will once again end up with no eyebrows. So the way I was taught was just to take a thinning shear in between, but I think I've seen other people use a blade in between the eyebrows. That way it's extra crisp and clean. But Peaches would decide to muck it up. I just know it. So I'm going to take my straight shear. Now, a lot of people will angle the shear to the tip of the nose. That gets that more. I always think of a Scotty haircut with that being so sharp. A lot of Schnauzers have it too, but I kind of angle it this way in. So from here to in. The chief complaint with these guys, these clients, is they feel like they can't see their eyeballs. So I actually thin the hair out from underneath their eyes and their cheeks. Not so much on her, but her sister, because her sister has black on her face. They always felt like they couldn't see her eyes. And her sister's overweight, so like she's got chubby cheeks. I get it. And they don't require the like blunt tip on the eyebrow. I don't think any of my schnauzers really care if they have the blunt tip on the schnauzer eyebrow. I mean, it looks more breed specific, kind of like the Scottish Terrier will have that blunt tip on their eyebrows. These guys, I cheat a little and I actually comb their eyebrows back a little bit. But when they're living their life, it'll come forward. So her, if you can tell, under her eyes is still pretty cleared out. Because she does have thinner hair. I don't always have to go in and thin out underneath her eyes. Her sister always. This one here has more wispy, thinnish hair. Her sister is the one with all the crazy hair everywhere. But I'm still going to take their cheeks down. Because they want... Don't laugh. They want a skinny face. So on a chubby schnauzer, what you do is you thin down the sides here. That way when they're looking at you, they look like they have that chiseled, angled face. But then when they open their mouth to pant, it does change things. So when I'm trying to get her to look at me serious and not pant, I have to make noise. It doesn't always work. She gets these little tangles in the front of her mouth. And they don't actually... I haven't done like a real pointed schnauzer beard in forever. These guys like it a little shorter. Because their faces and things. Oh, the live long day. So, for my critics out there, if I have any, probably not. Like, I know exactly where it's not like exactly like a schnauzer should be. I have to make certain adjustments for lifestyle and client preference. And that's part of the reason I do pet dogs and not show dogs. Okay. I'm going to use a squeaky toy to try to get her attention. To look up. Look up. Okay, well, can you look up and like zip your lip? And not pant? That kind of worked. Trying to see like what's hanging out weird. It's hard to tell when you are panting at me. Trying to decide, am I crazy or is it cockeyed? Trying to look in the camera to see, since I don't have a mirror in here. Well, let's see. Look over there. Look over there. Look over there. Look, it's Elvis. I think that's probably good. I think so. Okay, you guys. I'm going to take her after picture and deliver her and move on next door. Because I have a dog next door. I will catch you on the next one. Excuse me. Burps. Thank you for tuning in, joining me, watching the process. If you have any questions, comments, general wonderings, maybe some tips on my camera setup. The lighting's good. I'm fairly certain. I have lots of lights in here. I do have it on a tripod in my tub versus right here on my bar because I can't do a wide angle on this phone. I don't. And if I can, I haven't figured it out yet. But thanks for bearing with me. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.